Hey, this is Victor Martinez, owner and founder of Martinez Income Tax and Accounting. And if you want to learn the 6 and 7-figure science of success, significantly increase your revenue, and learn how to successfully build professional relationships, you should be listening to the Sell Without Selling podcast with my good friend, Stacey O'Byrne.
If you're ready to get out of your own way to follow the 7-figure science of success, then welcome to Sell Without Selling. Tune in with renowned international speaker Stacey O'Byrne as she shows you how mastering relationships, achieving the proper mindset, and attaining the necessary motivation will catapult you away from failure and onto your journey to greatness. And now, here is your host, Stacey O'Byrne.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Sell Without Selling. I'm your host, Stacey O'Byrne, and I believe that learning the art and the science of how to sell without selling is the only way to achieve high 6 and 7-figure success. Today I'm speaking with a really good friend of mine, Victor Martinez. Victor is the owner and founder of Martinez Income Tax and Accounting, which he established in 1998. He's one of the largest tax preparation firms in the Northeast San Fernando Valley, with over 2,000 individual tax and accounting clients and over 300 business entities. Victor's company was recognized by the City of San Fernando City Council for community involvement with various nonprofits and local business support. He was also voted Best of in 2018 in the City of San Fernando. He's also been recognized as 2019's Business of the Year by the United Chambers in the San Fernando Valley. I believe that learning the art and the science of how to sell without selling is the only way to achieve high 6 and 7-figure success. I am so excited for you to hear this man's brilliance today. And really quick, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or sales professional, and you haven't hit the level of success that you wanted or needed, or if you're stuck and needing a pivot in your business and your success, or you just want more, and you understand the importance of having a coach to help identify the blind spots, increase accountability, and help with success strategies to take you, your business, your income, and your success to the next level. If this sounds like something for you, then head over to pivotpointadvantage.com/I want success. That's pivotpointadvantage.com/I want success. There's a quick application there that will lead to a personal phone call with me to see if we're a great fit for each other. Okay, let's do this. Victor, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Stacey.
So I would love for our listeners to know what I know about you. So I'm really curious, what got you in the path that you took? What got you into accounting? What got you into tax preparation?
Funny you should ask. My first degree is actually in psychology. I was going to be a marriage and family therapist. And I started working, odd jobs here and there, and it all revolved around bookkeeping, accounting, that sort of stuff. And light bulb went on. And that's what got me in that direction. I went back to school, got my accounting degree from the University of Laverne as well. And it's just been one of those things that I really love doing. I love more the tax aspect of it than the bookkeeping, but just dealing with numbers is it's just amazing for me.
Nice. So I guess you can really leverage your psychology knowledge and background to help your clients.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's like they come to a therapy session, because sometimes we have couples that are sitting there crying and just giving me their entire history. And I'm like, okay, we're here to do taxes. Let's get back on business.
So how long have you been in accounting?
I started in 1993 working for someone else. And it was fun. Seeing the excited clients when they got their tax returns completed or prepared, and there was refunds coming. Everybody was excited. But for some reason, after the 4th year, going into my 5th year, my boss was just like, she was on my last nerve. I hated her coming walking through the door, and I said, that's enough. I got to go.
Wow. So what made you decide to start your own firm? Because that's a pretty big decision to go from employee to solopreneur.
Before I started my own practice, I actually went to go work at a mental health facility that I had been working as a second job. I really enjoyed working with people, helping other people, and this was a facility that housed adolescents, 13 to 18-year-olds. And believe it or not, I had clients or former clients from the previous office find me there. And they were saying, hey, I need you to do my taxes. I need you to do my bookkeeping. I need you to run my payroll. And again, the light bulb went on, and I started to take on clients. I was working from home. Mind you, at this time, it was a 2-bedroom, was a duplex. And I was using my living room as my office.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. So let's talk about your journey of growing and evolving into a practitioner of numbers, right? So you went from being a practitioner of the human mind to a practitioner of numbers to a business owner, because you have employees now, right?
Correct. Yes. For me, it all started when I was a little boy, 5 and 6 years old. I was selling oranges door to door. That was a family business, and it really taught me that, hey, working for yourself is really the best thing you can do for yourself, because you can pretty much decide when you work, when you don't work, how fast you work, how slow you work. All of that comes into play. But, it was just one of those things where my parents, I guess you can say, just through the daily routines taught me that, hey, always work for yourself, because if you work for somebody else, you're going to have a ceiling. No matter how great of an employee you are, you're always going to have a ceiling. And I'm the type of person that always wants more. So working for myself was the only way I'm going to be able to reach more and more and more.
Wow. So what were your obstacles when you first started out?
Confidence. That was one of my biggest obstacles, confidence. It was one of those, I guess, feelings that you had inside that maybe you just weren't good enough. There's a lot of, I guess, background to that. But it pretty much was one of those things where you just felt inadequate, or just the confidence level just wasn't there. And fortunately, I wouldn't say I'm completely over that, but I'm doing much better.
Good.
Yes.
So how did you navigate starting your business in the beginning with confidence being an obstacle? Because everything we do when we're starting out, everything we do in business requires decisions. And if we're struggling with confidence, and then that's going to ripple over into struggling with making decisions, and struggling with making investments, and struggling with networking, or asking for money, or onboarding a client. So talk to us about that process, because that must have been muddy waters for you.
It was. And for me, it was more that I did a good job with certain clients, or with the clients that I did have, and they referred more business to me. And little by little started gaining that confidence, even to the point where it became, my ex-wife would say I was a bit cocky. And it was because I was just getting a lot of business, a lot of clients, at that time. Compared to what we have now, it's very small. But at that time, for me, that was great. We were having success at that point, and I felt good about it. And I guess I was equivocating money with success and money with confidence. And like I said, it just grew. And little by little, I started to learn how to allow my employees to get more involved. And at that time, I still have one of my employees with me. Her name is Yolanda, and she's the one that has been pretty much since the beginning. 1 year after I went on my own, she joined me, and she's been a trooper. Has put up with my ups and downs and my bad attitude sometimes, but that was really it. Is just letting go of the reins little by little. That's how I was able to get more confident and have more confidence in my employees as well.
Nice. So that leads me to one of my favorite questions to ask when confidence comes up. For me, confidence and arrogance kind of has this fine line. When we show up as an expert, in order for us to be that expert, we do have to possess a level of confidence.
Correct.
However, how does someone balance confidence to ensure that they avoid showing up arrogant?
A lot of it would have to do with being able to show the value that you can bring to them. At the same time, have confidence in the information that you're providing to them, showing them how it is that you're going to be able to help them out. Most importantly is I don't like to use the terms I'm the best. It's like, hey, let me show you that I can do a great job for you, and that will in itself show you that I am the best for you. I may not be the best for everyone, but I will be the best for you, especially if in that interview we click, we seem to be on the same page as far as what you want to do with your business. Then I'm going to do the best job possible. If I see that there's going to be some I guess issues, then I will probably not take them on as a client. There's certain things that certain business owners want to do, and I just don't want to be part of it.
Nice. I love that answer. So yeah, I believe that we all attract our own prospective client, and that there is an abundance of business out in the world, and there is a right client for a right solution and a right solution for a right client. And the way that you ensure that you show up representing you is to avoid dissing the competition, because the competition is out there for specific people, and they may not be you, and they still may offer a well-rounded solution for somebody, right?
Correct. Exactly.
And let's face it, competition's healthy, right? It allows us to show up the very best of ourselves and ask ourselves for even more. It allows us to show up the best version of ourselves and tap into our state of excellence. So I love the competition. And, I know I'm really good at what it is I do, just like I know you're really good at what it is you do. And I invite the competition because they allow me to be even better. I also know that we're incapable of seeing anything in anyone that doesn't exist within us. So when we start dissing the competition, reality is all we're talking about is something about ourselves, our business, how we show up, that we don't like about ourselves. So, and we allow ourselves to see it in the other person, also known as the competition, so that we can learn from it, right?
Yes.
And since you studied the science I studied, that was Carl Jung's foundational perspective was perception's projection. I know that as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, typically what happens is success typically evolves with its own definition for someone over time. In the beginning, it starts out with one definition, and then as they grow and evolve and their businesses grow and evolve, then it takes on a new definition. And then they get to a point in their career where success means something totally different than what they started with. So I'm curious as to if the definition of success evolved for you, and if so, how?
Well, initially for me, success was directly correlated with money, and and that's what I was focused on, was how much money can I make? How much money can I make? And over the years, it really has evolved in how can I help, the community? How can I help these business owners? Because I want them to be successful, and in a selfish way, because if they're successful, they're in business, I'm in business. And, so it's more about helping other people now, because the money comes automatically. It comes on its own. It's one of those things where I used to stress out if my bank account fell below a certain number. And now it's like, yeah, whatever, it'll replenish on its own. In other words, the work that we're doing, it's going to allow for that money to come in. So money is no longer what I look at as far as, oh, that's how I am successful, because I know it keeps coming. I'm doing the work every day. My employees are doing the work every day. That means that the money's going to come. So now it's more of a, hey, how can I help somebody else? And I have had individuals, thank me because they said, hey, you know what, that one time you told me a specific quote, that's what made me become an entrepreneur. One of the most recent ones is an individual who just bought an insurance agency. And he worked for me sporadically, a few hours here and there. And I told him, I said, hey, look, you're never going to make money working for me, but we can both make money working together. I said, so if you want to do the tax business, let's get you started. If you want to do the insurance business, let's get you started. And then at least that way we're able to refer business back and forth, and we'll both be making money. And I met up with him at a mixer, and he said, you know what, when you told me that, it just rang in my head over and over and over. And they finally bought an insurance agency, and haven't looked at the books, but according to him, he's doing well. And so that, those are the type of things that I really enjoy, and makes me happy, makes me proud. And that's what I want to keep doing, because again, if other people are in business, that means the economy is doing well. That means I'm going to be doing well as well.
Yeah, I love that. So Victor, what's something that truly inspires you? What really lights your fire and drives you?
Wow, that's a good one. What inspires me, my kids. My kids are really my focus right now. I want to help them grow, and I want to help them develop. They both seem to have a desire to be part of the business. My daughter has been working with me, I think 4 years now. My son started last year, and he talks about wanting to make it grow, make our business grow, because obviously he sees money. And I did, explain to him, hey, I do make X amount of dollars. You see it. I want you to be not at that level, but I want you to be much higher than me. My ceiling should be your floor, things like that. And, he's had more of an opportunity to listen to me. Obviously, going through your NLP workshops has really changed my mindset, my vocabulary. So I have really dropped in a few stories, as well as information that I've taken in, and that's what I really want him to absorb. But ultimately, it's a matter of how much do they want it. I can't put it for them, but I can show them, hey, this is what I did, and this is where the mistakes I made. So learn from these, so that way you can get to that level a lot faster than I did.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of modeling, right?
Yes.
So you brought up those 3 letters, NLP, neurolinguistics programming. So I'd love for you to share any part of your journey as to what NLP did for your life, for your business, for your sales, for your bank account. Anything you want to share with our listeners about what neurolinguistics programming and working with our successology, which is the science of success.
Okay. Well, for me, the most importantly is my intent. My intent, as far as with my clients, with my family. I think that's what really, I guess, put it in perspective for me. It really allowed me to set a strategy. In other words, not just come into the office and see what happens, but hey, what are we getting done today? What are we getting done this week? What are we getting done this month? Obviously, there's deadlines, We don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over, waiting till the last minute. So that helped me live more intentionally, having more intent in my life. One of the biggest things that happened was the income that I generated, specifically because before I would have long conversations with some clients. A 30-minute appointment would last an hour, hour and a half. And that was because we didn't stay on track. Nothing wrong with having a conversation with a client, but if your client is there to prepare their taxes or to set up a corporation, and you lose focus of that, then you're wasting time. You're losing money. Mm-hmm. And when I started to implement where I would keep the client focused on what they were there for, rather than talking about the barbecue they had the past weekend, my income just started coming in even more so because I was sticking to those 30-minute appointments because I had somebody else coming in next. So it allowed for me to get the work done in less time because we weren't wasting time with, conversations that really had nothing to do with what they were there for. So sometimes you would find yourself hour into the conversation, didn't accomplish anything. So I did nothing for the client. So that didn't serve a purpose in my business. So when I stuck to their business, it was a lot easier for me to, number one, get things done, make some money, and at the same time, have a little bit of time left over to, yes, have a little bit of a conversation. So it wasn't always so strict, and you still see comments in my Instagram. There was one recently where it was a collaboration with another tax office with this individual who just skyrocketed their sales. They went from 200,000 to over $1 million in 1 year. They had no idea what to do, how to take care of it, any of that. So we had we had a meeting. We put together a strategy for them. Obviously a lot of tax planning because this coming year seemed to be going at least 1.5 rather than at 1.1. And she saw one of my Instagram posts, and I was smiling, and she says, "Oh my God, he smiles." It's because when I'm in a business setting, I want to make sure that I take care of the client. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm there for. Mm-hmm. If you want to meet afterwards, for lunch, then we can, have a few jokes, smile, and what have you. But when I'm there to take care of your business, that's my primary focus.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm hearing is NLP, it really assisted with your focus, your productivity, correct, your communication, your income. If memory serves me properly, your business doubled or tripled, something like that.
It went up by 50%, and at that point, that was $200,000 that it went up in about a year and 3 months. Nice. So and like I told you before, I have the finances to show it. I was sub 4, and I went over 6. So I was excited. And wow. Since then it's grown, and we're very close to the 7 figures.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
One of my favorite things to say proudly is we make millionaires, and I love to watch people do that journey. NLP really helps people get out of their way so that they can get on their way and have their way. And people don't realize it's that minute little program that just needs a little bit of adjusting, and it shifts the way we show up. And when that little shift happens, for some people, there's big shifts, and for others, there's little shifts. And regardless, the shift puts them on the right path, and it's beautiful to watch that journey. It really is. And then to watch people accomplish their goals and increase their goals and continue to achieve them. So I know you're a tax preparer. I know you're an accountant. What are some of the mistakes that you see business owners, entrepreneurs, independent contractors, self-employed people make on a continual basis?
The biggest one, record keeping. No bookkeeping done whatsoever. Yet at the end of not the end of the year, but when they file their taxes, they are surprised that they have to pay any type of tax. Like, you're self-employed, you have to pay something.
Mm-hmm.
You paid personal expenses, which means that there was a profit. And if you have no children, if you have no deductions, you're going to pay self-employment tax. That Social Security and Medicare portion of your income. That means you can pay zero income tax, federal and state tax, but Social Security and Medicare, you're going to have to pay one way or another because there's a profit.
Mm-hmm.
If you're paying your groceries, if you're paying your rent or your mortgage, there's a profit. But that's the biggest reason that they get surprised by it, because there's no record keeping whatsoever.
So what advice, or what's your professional opinion on people who DIY their books and their taxes? Because I have my opinion on it. I'm curious of what yours is.
Even if you do it yourself, still have somebody else come in, review the books, make sure things are being done correctly. Because so many times, just yesterday, I had a client walk in. According to his balance sheet, his bank account was negative $99,000. Like, that's impossible. You're no way on earth
in jail,
right? So that was one of them. There was another item where his payroll liability was $300,000, and I said, "There's no way on earth your payroll liabilities is that much when your payroll is only $400,000. So something is not being done right." And I commend you for taking the initiative, doing something, but at least have the courage to say, "Hey, I need some help because I want my business to succeed."
Right. So my opinion on the DIY is, if you found out you needed brain surgery, would you do it yourself? And I think the no-brainer answer is absolutely not. And people may not equate doing your books or filing your taxes as brain surgery. However, if you've never dealt with the IRS, I would prefer to have brain surgery than deal with the IRS, because they're not fun. They're the big bully on the block, right? And when it comes right down to it, you being the listener are an expert in what it is you're an expert in. You have a product, you have a service, you have a solution, and you're the resident expert. That's your wheelhouse. And you make X amount of money focusing on that deliverable. So why would you ever take the time to spend doing something that you're not trained in, that you're not an expert in, and seriously would take you probably 3 to 5 times longer to do than hiring someone that does do it for a living, is an expert at it, can make sure that things get classified, categorized, expensed out properly, keep you towing the line and stay on the right side of it. And reality is they'll probably do it in easily 100 to 200% quicker than you ever could, with the effectiveness and the efficientness, right?
Yes, definitely. That takes me back to the honey-do list, right? I'd rather give that list to a handyman or a contractor, because you know what? I used to have a handyman that would do a lot of the work, even at my home or at rentals, and he would charge me anywhere between $200, $250 a day. Well, I can sit at my desk and make twice as much in 1 hour, if not more. So why would I not want somebody else that will probably get it done faster than I would, and I'm still making more money?
Yeah. I mean, I found way early on, when I was going through bankruptcy and when I was going through that lawsuit, I found way early on that, for me to sit down with a QuickBooks file and for me to really focus on doing my own QuickBooks, and we're talking 15 years ago, give or take, for me to sit down and do my own QuickBooks file, what would take me 5 or 6 hours took a bookkeeper an hour. And, at that time, if I made $500 an hour, I was wasting $2,500 to save what someone else billed me $100 to do. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. So I really invite you guys to do what you do best and then hire the best to do the rest. Because reality is you can build a business or you can create a job. And if you're creating a job and doing things that aren't within your expertise to do, if you attempted to do that as an employee someplace else, you'd probably get fired due to incompetency, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So, Victor, I have a two-part question for you. How has staying in your comfort zone impacted you, and how has getting out of your comfort zone impacted you?
Staying in my comfort zone put me in a box. I did it more like let's say even a jail cell, because you really limited yourself as far as what you could do, or excuse me, what I could do. I limited myself as far as what type of clients I could reach out for. I had to take what was coming my way as opposed to selecting my clients. Once I got out of my comfort zone, at first there was some nervous, I guess, feeling. Obviously, the confidence factor came back, but I pretty much would talk to myself, give myself my courage and go after those clients that I really wanted. I'm very proud to say that the majority of the bigger restaurants here in the local area are my clients. I'm really proud to say, hey, I can tell somebody walk down the street and ask them who Victor Martinez is, and they're going to know who it is, because they're going to say, oh, that's my accountant, that's my tax guy, whatever they want to refer me as. But you make an impact once you get out of your comfort zone. You really make an impact on your community, obviously on your business and on your family. It's extremely eye-opening once you start saying, hey, I can do this. You really start to see, like, wow, I really can do this. How much more can I do? So you really put more excitement into your life about what else can you accomplish. And it's a matter of me being a competitive person. I want to give myself more levels to reach, more goals to reach. So that's pretty much getting out of your comfort, that you really start to have a bigger reach.
Mm-hmm. So how, in my opinion, comfort zones create a very small, as you put it, box. You have a very false floor, because trust me when I tell you, the rug can be pulled out very quickly if you allow yourself to stay comfortable in your comfortable zone. And that gray zone's a very, very dangerous place, because it wastes valuable resources, and it also puts over a very false ceiling over people's heads. And reality is, the more comfortable you get being uncomfortable, the more you're capable of responding when things happen, so that you can pivot, right? Like the pandemic, how many people pivoted and how many people stayed where they were waiting to get to the other side of it. And now, we are getting to another side of it. However, this new strain becomes unpredictable as to what's going to happen next. This entire scenario reminds me a lot of the double dip recession in 2008 and 2009. People thought we were coming out of it in 2008, and then we dipped really hard again in 2009. So this is a very similar situation. And if you've allowed yourself to stay comfortable in a comfort zone, you're going to end up reacting instead of responding. And that's a very dangerous thing for business owners.
Correct. And it takes me to one of my clients who I've been really wanting them to grow their business. They're in the cleaning business. And when everything was shut down, she says, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I looked at her and said, you're kidding, right? This is a perfect opportunity for you to get more business.
Yeah.
You're in the cleaning business. Get out there and clean those offices. Do whatever you need to do in order to get certified to clean, for this COVID thing. And she went on unemployment. Yes. Yeah. But we had a number of clients who actually made a lot more money during the pandemic because they responded. They didn't sit there and cry or whine about getting shut down. They responded. They changed how they did business, and it was amazing. Those people just did amazing, and I'm glad I was part of it. Because I did try to give them as many suggestions as possible. Like I said, some people just didn't, and others did. Yeah.
So I know so many stories where people shut down and went on unemployment, and then I know so many stories where people really pivoted. And I think one of my favorite is a massage therapist who realized it's illegal right now for me to touch people, for me to massage, I'll lose my license. She instantaneously responded, and she asked herself, what am I good at? And her answer was helping people feel better about themselves, helping people feel better. So she quickly dove into a coaching certification course. I know this because she took our coaching certification course, and within a month started really focusing on empowerment coaching and helping people empower themselves so that they can move forward. And she replaced her income throughout the entire pandemic, and it's not as physically taxing on her. So
Correct. Nice.
So I'm curious, why do you think most fail?
Most fail because they really don't have a strategy. They're hoping things work out. And that's one of the things that I hear all the time. Well, hoping that things go well. Is like, no, regardless of who's president, whatever's going on in the country, you have to have a plan. You have to know exactly where you're going to be at in a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now. You have to have a plan, a strategy. And if the plan that you have after 1 month isn't working, find out why. What's the problem, and make the changes to that so that you can continue. But yeah, there's too many people that just hope that things work out.
Yeah. Hope's not a strategy. That's
not at all.
Sure. Yeah. So for me, I think this is a multi-tiered response. I think first and foremost, success is 90% mindset, 10% skill set. So I think that your mindset's got to be tight. It's got to be right. It's got to be focused on what it is you want as opposed to what it is you don't want. If you're lacking the money mindset program, if you're lacking the confidence program, if you're lacking the self-worth program, if you're lacking fill in the blank, any program that serves you to walk a very effortless path of success, then it gets to get tightened up. It gets to get reprogrammed so that you can put yourself in the right path. Because reality is, no matter what goes on, no matter what happens, if you have the mindset, you can sustain anything, right? And
Yes.
then having that tight mindset then allows you to truly strategize your path to success in order to implement it. And with that strategy and with that mindset, they hold hands together to then travel you through the course of success. And being a success strategist, that's one of my favorite things to do with people is get them out of their head, get them into the right path, create that path. Because reality is, if you're going on vacation and don't know where you want to go, anywhere you end up is the right place, no matter how much you don't want to be there.
Definitely.
So Victor, how has failure been instrumental in your journey to success?
Well, failure, if you let it consume you, it'll definitely keep you at the bottom, keep you in a place where you feel worthless. However, if you learn from it, if you see what that failure is teaching you, you pick up the pieces and you put together a new plan, a new strategy. You help that failure, I guess, put your mindset in a more, how can I do it, rather than can I do it sort of thing. But for me, failure, I've had a number of failures, and the most important thing is just learning from all of those, learning that hey, that doesn't have to define me. It doesn't have to be me. Those failures have pushed me to be a better person, and I'm still every day struggling to be a better person. So not just a better person, but a better father, a better business owner, better entrepreneur, and a better member of my community. So those failure is a big part of your success.
It is. And it's only part of your success if you allow yourself to learn what worked, what didn't work, what can I do better, and then implement those learnings. If you choose to not implement those learnings, then failure is indicative to a very painful journey, right?
Yes.
If you do allow yourself to embrace those learnings, then all you're doing is getting feedback on what didn't work so that you can pivot a little bit and shift things to change the outcome, right?
Correct.
So, Victor, I know you love to network. So how has networking helped you and your business?
Networking has done a tremendous, good for my business. It's what I do is I go out and meet people. I don't tell them, hey, you should use my services. It's just introduction. You're planting seeds. You get to hear about what these other people are doing. We find out what brought them there. And the funny thing is that I try to remember where everybody comes from. Even when somebody say, hey, who's that? And, okay, that person is a friend of this person whose brother and sister do their taxes with me, and whose mother started doing their taxes with me X amount of years ago. But networking, it's very powerful. I like to compare it to the gym, and it's been shared quite a bit through my networking groups, that when you sign up for the gym, you didn't automatically lose weight or get in shape. One of the things you needed to do when you signed up for the gym is you needed to show up. And when you show up, you also have to use the tools that are there. That's the weights, the elliptical machines, not standing next to the elliptical machine and having a conversation with somebody else, right? And then once you get a great workout, you follow up with a great diet. So again, it's showing up, it's participating, and follow up. And that's what networking is about as well. You have to show up. You can't show up to one networking meeting, get no referrals, and say it doesn't work. That's like saying, I went to the gym yesterday, I didn't lose 20 pounds, so it doesn't work. So hey, you got to show up. You have to show up. You have to participate. I belong to Team Referral Network as a member and as a director. And there are tools that Team Referral Network has for you. If you want to be successful, you have to use those tools. And then you have to follow up. If you get a referral, make sure you follow up. There's so many times when people receive a referral and do nothing with it. It's like, well, what's the point of going to these networking events? So again, show up, participate, and follow up, and you'll see the tremendous growth in your business.
That metaphor is beautiful because it's applicable in every area. Showing up, participating, and following up in your business, in your success, in your financial stability, in your financial freedom, in your life, in your health, in your relationships. Showing up, participating, and following up and following through is the formula to achieve your dreams, period, right?
Yes.
So I'm curious, Victor, working with so many business people, share with our listeners how you think coaching is applicable to someone's journey towards success.
Well, coaching, I think it plays a big role in your success because you have someone that will provide you tools uh, from an outsider's perspective that you normally wouldn't see for yourself. I think you said it before. If you're in the picture, if you're in the frame, you can't see the picture or something like that. But I get the idea. It's like, I know that there's certain things that I don't see because I believe I'm doing things right. But if I have a coach, they're going to tell me, hey, maybe this might work better, this approach or this method or whatever. But definitely having somebody on your shoulder saying, this is a better way based on information that I have, will make a difference in your business and in your life, period.
Yep. So the reason why I call myself a success strategist is because I'm good at business and I'm good at mindset. I'm an expert in both. So I can double dip the two to take someone through their path and their journey to success. I also believe people need to surround themselves with an accountant, an EA, a tax preparer, a CPA, whatever that professional is. In my opinion, that's their numbers coach, right? They
Yes.
need someone to truly help them create a path so that you keep more of your money and do with it what's right for you to do with it to create your future dreams. We need a life coach, a health coach, a wellness coach, a personal trainer, whatever you call that person, right? You need your spiritual coach or advisor or your minister or pastor or priest, whatever you call them, right? We look at every area of our life because that's where the harmony is. And we surround ourselves with the experts that are going to guide us to achieve what it is we want to achieve. If you attempt to do any journey blindfolded, as you said, if you're in the picture, you can't see yourself, right? If you're part of the problem, you'll never be part of your solution. So if you aren't in a position where you have a coach in the areas of your life that are major areas of your life, it's important for you to figure out how to make it happen because that's where your acceleration is going to be, period, right?
Yes.
You try to do your own taxes, be prepared for that letter. So, because I heard rumor the IRS is really hiring.
Yes, they are.
So, Victor, welcome to the signature question of the show. And that is, what does selling without selling mean to you?
Selling without selling, for me, has really focused more on providing the information to my clients or to potential clients, showing them that they made the right choice by speaking to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's gosh, it's one of those things where with confidence and with all great intentions for the client, you provide the service, the information, letting them know that it's a win-win situation. We're not there to, I guess, just take the money and run.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those situations where, hey, I want you long term.
Yep.
I want to be able to help you because as long as you're in business, I'm going to be in business. As long as I'm providing the services, helping you become more successful, showing you what my numbers are as far as when we sit down and go over your financial statements, and knowing that you understand exactly what you have in black and white. That for me is selling without selling. It's them seeing the value that I bring to them.
Hmm. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So, Victor, welcome to the random round. I believe that success leaves clues. And I like to ask our expert guests a question or two so that our listeners can say, oh, I really like that, extract that, and then insert itself. So, my first question for you is, what is your favorite book and why?
My favorite book is Think and Grow Rich.
Mhm.
I think I read it at the right time for me. There was a lot of changes going on in my life. I think it was right before taking your NLP workshop.
Mhm.
And even after taking your NLP workshop, there were some things that just did not set in for me
Mhm.
until maybe a couple of weeks after. And then I tied it in with Think and Grow Rich. And it really opened up my eyes, even though I had been part of team for quite some time. It's like, hey, we need each other. You know,
Mhm.
we really need each other to help each other grow.
Mhm.
And like I said, I was going through some difficult times, and it talked about how men, specifically men in their 40s, all of a sudden they just start having these amazing times. And guess what? I started having some amazing times, and I'm now 50 years old, and I'm doing better than ever. You know,
Nice.
but yeah, that's one of my favorite books. I read it and listen to it quite often. You know, going to your initial workshop, your success, train your brain for success workshop,
Mhm.
and you mentioned about audio books and that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
And I'd rather listen to that than music because it just feeds my brain. Because for me, every day is a constant struggle, so I want to stay focused.
Nice. Yeah, that's our Successology boot camp. And our Successology boot camp allows people to train their brain for success so that they become aware of what it is they didn't know that they didn't know. One more question for you because I love that answer so much. What is your favorite word and why?
My favorite word.
Yes, sir.
Oh man. Wow. Um, I would have to say is thank you. That's my favorite word.
Mhm.
Um, and not just people saying it to me, but me saying it to somebody else.
Mhm.
Because whether they did something to help me or their intent was to hurt me, I
Mhm.
thank you because at least I'm able to learn from it. Whether I trusted you with something and you betrayed me, hey, thank you. At least you showed me your true colors.
Mhm.
Or if I help somebody else that really needed my help, you know, and they thanked me, whether it was that day or months later or even years later. There was somebody that I hadn't seen in about 10 years, and he said thank you because I shared a little bit of my background with him. The selling oranges when I was 5 years old, and the funny part was that I would say we moved on to bigger and better things, which was watermelons. You know, and then our family was one of the first families to have food trucks here in the San Fernando Valley, and that guy ended up setting up a food truck, and then eventually he ended up getting restaurants. Now he has 5 restaurants. But he
Wow.
said, hey, you know what? It's just the fact that you said that your parents did this, and that, and how you were a kid and you wanted to do that. Um, it just inspired him to say, you know what? I don't want to work for anybody else. And like I said, 10 years later, he ended up moving up to Ventura County. And so that's why I hadn't seen him. And yeah, it's been those moments, that thank you it's my favorite.
I love that. Victor, it's been incredible having you on the show. I appreciate you spending time with us today and sharing your journey. Before we head out, what's the best way our listeners can get a hold of you?
Well, I have an Instagram page. It's at Martinez Income Tax. Um, or you can Google the hashtag Do My Taxes Victor. So
Hmm.
again, that's hashtag Do My Taxes Victor. You'll see all sorts of social media. I try to be as active as possible on social media. Um, and other than that, you can always email me, victor@martinezincometax.com.
Fantastic. Thank you. As usual, this has been incredible getting to share time with you. Your success is important to me, and it's also important to me to make sure that these episodes are valuable to you. I would love for you to do a few things right now. I'd love for you to hop over to Instagram and follow us at Pivot Point Advantage. That's hop over to Instagram and follow us at Pivot Point Advantage. Second, I'd love it if you'd head over to Facebook and join our Sell Without Selling community. That's head over to Facebook and join our Sell Without Selling community. We have an immense amount of interaction on both platforms. We also share different information on both platforms, so we look forward to seeing you there. Last and definitely not least, I love to chat with you, give feedback on the episodes, and find out any topics that you're interested in to help make this podcast more powerful and helpful to you achieving the success you've always dreamed of, desired, and deserved. Head over to pivotpointadvantage.com/talk to Stacey. That's pivotpointadvantage.com/talk to Stacey. Let's get a 15-minute call on the schedule. I look forward to getting to know you. Always remember this: choice is a powerful thing, and suffering is always optional. Get out of your way so that you can get on your way, so you can finally have your way. Thanks so much for listening, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
Whether it's mastering your mindset, communication, or success, we have more ways to keep you on your journey to greatness. Be sure to visit us at pivotpointadvantage.com for exclusive online training programs, success-specific courses, and more ways to connect to Stacey directly to help you achieve the financial success you've always desired, dreamed, and deserved. That's all available on pivotpointadvantage.com.